All right, when you need to clean out your watercolors at the end of each class, you want to make sure that you have just a little bit of water running from the faucet, and you can use a brush to help you clean out the colors that you mixed for that day. When you're done cleaning out your palette, you need to leave it open underneath of your table for the next class to use. So please do not leave without your palette clean, and please leave your palette open underneath of your table so that it can dry and will be ready for the next class's use. Okay, so now it's time to paint. Remember to refer back to your sketchbook so that you can see the colors that you chose. You should have already chosen complementary colors last class. Now my complementary colors that I chose are blue and orange, and the complementary colors are going to go in this block where we put our geometric shapes. I would recommend starting with your geometric shapes because you're only using 2 colors, and it's going to be a lot easier to learn how to overlap your colors when you're just using 2, because when we get to analogous, we're going to be using 5 different colors. So what you want to do is take your time to fill in the shape with the color that you have chosen. So my complementary colors that I chose are going to be blue and orange. You want to paint one color first, so you don't want to switch back between blue and orange because you're going to end up blending your colors in a way that you don't want to. So go all the way around your geometric area with one of your complementary colors first. Then once your complementary colors have dried, go back in with the second color. Okay, now that I've had my blue done, I'm going to begin to add the orange. When you add the orange, you want to make sure that you're not smearing the orange with the blue together and dirtying the spots that are supposed to be orange. So what I would recommend doing is painting the spots that don't overlap first. Nice and neat, taking your time. If you end up getting too much paint pooled on your paper, it means that there's too much water in your brush, and you're going to want to squeeze that water out. So paint the part of the paper that doesn't overlap first, so the part of your shape that doesn't overlap first. And then once that's done, then you can paint over top of the blue. The objective of overlapping these shapes and the colors is to see exactly how the shapes or the colors change when you overlap them. And you're going to want to clean your brush often during this process. All right, let's do one more triangle together. So we're filling in the orange without really touching the blue because we don't want to pull the blue into the orange triangle. And once we have the triangle filled in with orange, then we can go back and fill in the space where the blue triangle and the orange triangle overlap. After you finish filling out all of your primary colors, you're going to move to your analogous colors. Now my analogous colors that I chose were blue-green, green, yellow, and yellow-orange. So I think to make it easier, I'm going to start with the colors that are already pre-mixed in the container. So let's go ahead and start with green. Now just like we did with the complementary colors and our geometric shapes, we're going to make enough green that will get us pretty far around the square. And we're going to make sure that we just fill in the shape. So this might be the tricky part. With all those lines overlapping, you're going to have to pay attention to which shape belongs to what. Now remember, if your water starts to pool, that you can squeeze your brush out a little bit and you won't get that pooling or the running of the water. Now just like with the complementary section, you want to paint all of one color first, let it dry, and then go around with the next color, let it dry, and continue until you have all 5 of your analogous colors added. Now it's very important to skip enough space so that you have room to add more of the analogous colors. So maybe we'll do another green down here. Do your best to stay in the lines so that things are neat. It doesn't take a lot of watercolor to fill the space, so make sure you're not putting too much paint on your brush. And if you have too much paint on your brush, make sure you squeeze some of it out. And then the next color that I'm going to add is going to be my yellow, because that's already pre-mixed. So let's come back and add some yellow. And I'll go all the way around with my yellow. Okay, so now you can see that I've added all 5 of my analogous colors. I have green, yellow, yellow-orange, and green-blue. So tips on this is make sure that you do one color at a time. Let your colors dry before you add a second color. Make sure that your brush doesn't have too much water in it. And if your colors are too translucent, if you'd like for them to be a little bit darker, mix the color, let it set for a few minutes so some of the water evaporates. And then the water will have a thicker consistency and be more opaque. So good luck, guys. Can't wait to see them when I come back. Bye.